Natlan soon going to be fresh out of the oven. And to hold us all over for another patch, Hoyo slid some sneaky drip marketing of 3 new characters that'll be coming out with a new region's release. So today, I thought it'd be fun to look at the designs of these characters and mull over what their kits could potentially look like based on their designs and what the next logical step of regional power creep would be within Genshin Impact. My name is Juice, and let's get into it. Also, a quick and important disclaimer. Everything I say in this video is speculation. None of it has any grounds in what Hoyoverse is actually planning to do with the characters. This video is simply me getting hype over the new releases and sharing my ideas with you all. Let's begin with Dendro Xiao. First off, his design is easily my favorite of the 3, and I've been seeing a lot of people online who feel the same way, which is super cool. I love the drip and the vibes. Now for the potential kit. He's obviously gonna be Dendro. His green glow is much more Dendro-like as opposed to Anemo, and you can clearly see his vision here, which is a Dendro vision, and his weapon is obviously going to be a claymore, like bro is literally using one right here. So another Dendro unit coming out not very long after Emily, if we assume he's coming out in either 5.0 or 5.1. Yeah, this guy's most definitely gonna be something related to burning. Emily will be the only burning unit in the game as of launch, but she requires burning to make herself good, not to make burning good. So this guy is most likely going to assist by being a DPS, which can also benefit from burning and help the whole team harmonize much better. I'm expecting Emily to be a part of his best in slot teams, but wait, before you consider pulling for Emily now, as this is just fun speculation that isn't backed by anything, please don't pull for Emily expecting her to be a great support for this guy if you weren't already intending on picking her up. Only invest in new units as they become good on their reruns, as investing early is much more likely to lead to disappointment. With that being said, this guy will most likely fill a new kind of role within Dendro teams, which is super refreshing to play. It also gives Hoyo full control over the drawing board in terms of how to power scale them within the new region. We have such a few amount of dedicated Dendro DPSs, only having Alhaitham and Tainari as dedicated on-fielders. It makes sense that this guy is going to join the mix and expand that roster. I'd like to see him maybe even dabble in Burgeon comps. Essentially, I want him to do everything that Alhaitham doesn't, completing the other missing half of a Dendro reaction spectrum. I wouldn't score a Bloom DPS out of the picture either, since Kave's kind of a flop, and Hoyo might want to try again and do it right this time. Remember, Hoyo always has something up their sleeve. It's hard to predict what they'll do, since they always end up surprising us, one of my favorite case in points being Navia, and how she broke Geo's conventions. But everything safely seems to be pointing towards a Pyro Dendro direction, which I'm very excited for. Now for the fishing girl. She looks like a water-type gym leader, not what I expected for Natlan, honestly, but I think she looks pretty neat. Now, Hydro is the best element in Genshin Impact, and Fontaine showed us how dominant it still remains when introducing absolute behemoth powerhouses such as Noivellette and our beloved Lady Farina, so I have no doubt in my mind that she'll be good. Yes, Siegeween was a dud, but I don't think they would make one of their early Hydro releases bad. Think back to Noivi and Nilu, those guys are still incredible to this day. Design-wise, I think she looks like a Hydro catalyst, but Polearm also looks really feasible. I'd actually love that since Polearm is my favorite weapon type. I'd happily take bow as well. As for how to make her stronger than Noivi, or at least justifiable to pull when you already have him, simple. Increase the range of the attacks with less damage, or crank up the damage and reduce the AoE, while making the character go crazy hard in Vape. It'd be nice to get an absolute banger character like that. It's hard for me to see her as a support, because our Hydro support roster is so fleshed out right now, and providing something that Farina doesn't is tough work. Maybe being a HP % buffer, but I don't think Hoyo's ready to fully destroy any semblance of game balance yet. Vaporize usually favors Pyro DPSs over the Hydros, with the few exceptions like Klee, Farina, AoE reverse Vape, so I really am expecting them to take this route for her with the release of the Pyro Nation. However, Burn Vape would also be really fun since that's such a niche archetype that nobody really takes advantage of yet. However, Burn Vape would also be really fun since that's such a niche archetype that nobody takes advantage of yet. The return of Taser is always feasible too, considering how that reaction has been completely left behind in the dust. She could be the Hydro to finally bring its return, which I would gladly welcome. I might be expecting some self-heals within her kit to keep up with the standard of Noivi, but perhaps that's kind of overkill. Only time will tell how good she is or whether I'm yapping complete nonsense. Either way, I look forward to her kit. Now for the Rock Kid. I'll be honest, I care about her the least, but I do think she has one of the better designs for a small kid model. I believe she'll be a 4-star since the other have 5-star designs in my opinion. I assume she's going to be a polearm user, but Sword and Catalyst could be feasible too. Catalyst would be neat since we only have Ningguang as of now if I'm correct. Tell me if I'm wrong. Please be a Geo support, please. I really hope she can be a general Geo support for a character like Navia. Ningguang is also an attack scaling Geo, they deserve some love too. Chiori also has split scalings, by the way. Or shoot, at least let some of her buffs be universal like Bennett. She doesn't have to be as insanely good as him or anything, but the flexibility would be nice. You get the idea. More Geo application would be cool too, for Navia Crystal Shrapnel reasons. Please don't make us play Circle or Square Impact with buffing shapes. Enough geometry. I suck at geometry dash already, man. The kid's travel mechanic looks pretty cool though. It seems like exploration passives are going to be getting a huge raise with the rise of Natlan. Just please don't be another Geo sub DPS. Hoyo, we are at your mercy here. Another thing that I find super interesting about the new Natlan units is that they seem to all have their own special unique mount. For example, the Hydro Girl has her own little shark creature, which I'm assuming is only going to work on water. I'm wondering if it's going to really accelerate the speed of water travel, or if it's going to have a stamina bar, or what the limit to this is, because most of us have Farina for the obvious reasons that she's adorable. Totally not that she's super meta as well, but you know, because she's got the walking on water permanently ability, so this Hydro Girl would have to have a really good fast travel over water to power creep that. I think the Rock Kid honestly has the best looking of the travel abilities. We haven't really seen what the Dendro guy's travel ability is. He is like flying around at one point in the trailer, but I don't really think that's ability. I think that was just cool Hoyoverse cinematic stuff. But I'd say faster climbing and faster ground travel is welcome. Usually we just use like Shanyun's skill, Yalan's skill, Sayu's skill to get around quicker, but if this is a convenient way to do ground fast travel, I'll gladly welcome that. Now, I'm wondering if this is going to be character locked or if we're going to have something like a replacement for every other character in the game, since obviously when Natlan releases, not everyone's going to be pulling for the first few new units. There'll be a lot of Archon savers and whatnot, so that makes me curious. And another thing is that if these travel mechanics are the equivalent to the Nuima and Ouija things from Fontaine, then does that mean that the Archon might have multiple different travel mechanics? Are we going to get another form of travel power creep? What I will say is that I really hope this works outside of Natlan. The reason I say this is because Genshin has a couple of zones where you have to travel a very long distance and it's just really, really annoying. I'm mostly drawn to the Geo Kid's travel mechanics the most because to me, her travel ability feels the most necessary, especially because we already have Farina with the Jesus powers. We're still yet to see what this lad does. I highly doubt it's anything to do with flying. The thing is, I doubt Genshin Impact would ever add a character who could straight up just fly, because that would just totally ruin the point of stamina in Overworld. It would ruin much of exploration and just let you go everywhere by pulling one character. It would be way too... I never thought I would say this, but it would be way too OP for Overworld. So I doubt that's ever going to come. I would love it, but they're probably always going to be limited in the way that, like, Xianyang can't really fly. She can just hop, and how Scaramouche, he flies, but for a very brief period of time with a long enough cooldown to keep it balanced. So we'll have to wait and see what this guy does. I don't know. He's Dendro. I would assume something with grass, but he's just flying around here, so yeah, I don't know. And there you have it. Honestly, I'm a big fan of Gens 1 to 7 and 9 of Pokemon. Yes, this is subtle Sword and Shield slander, and I literally cannot wait for some of these characters to release because they all look like Pokemon trainers. The Dendro guy looks incredible, the Hydro Girl is super cute, and the Geo Kid has the potential to finally cure our good Geo support starvation. I'll be pulling for all of them if I can. Feel free to comment down below what you think of my speculations, comment some of your own suggestions for these characters and what you personally want them to be. Who knows, maybe you found all of my ideas stupid and idiotic. Let me know down below. Let's talk in any case. Don't forget to join my Discord, which will be pinned in the comments and slid into my description, and consider supporting me on Ko-Fi. Hopefully this video was able to hype you up for the Natlan characters of the future. This has been Juice, signing out. And does anyone else see it?